The alarm bells rang through the command center of the Altaran Defense Fleet. Red lights flashed on every wall. Commander Dae-ho ran down the metal hallway, his blue skin pale with fear. His forearms moved quickly as he tried to fix his uniform. "Sir, the Vex ships are coming," shouted Lieutenant Kira, her bird-like head turning toward him. Her feathers stood up with worry. Dae-ho looked at the big screen. Hundreds of dark ships moved through space like angry insects. The Vex Empire had come to destroy another world. They had already taken 3 planets from the Galactic Trade Union. Now they wanted Altara Prime. "How many ships?" Dae-ho asked. "Over 800, sir. Our fleet only has 50 ships left." Dae-ho felt his heart sink. The Altarans were peaceful people. They built things and grew food. They were not fighters. The other alien races in the trade union were the same. They all lived in peace for thousands of years. But the Vex were different. They only knew how to fight and take things from others. Their weapons were stronger, their ships were faster, and they never stopped. "Sir, what do we do?" asked Kira. Dae-ho thought hard. They could not win this fight. In 2 days, maybe 3, the Vex would land on their planet. Millions of innocent people would die. Then he remembered something. 3 months ago, they had found strange signals from a small blue planet far away. The signals were called television and radio. They came from a young race called humans. The trade union had studied these signals. The humans seemed primitive. They still used basic rockets to fly in space. They had not traveled to other stars yet. But something in their signals was different. The humans fought each other a lot. Their movies and shows were full of wars and battles. They had weapons that could destroy whole cities. They seemed to love making things that could hurt other things. Most aliens thought humans were too violent and dangerous. But now Dae-ho had a crazy idea. "Kira, open a channel to all trade union worlds," he said. "Yes, sir." "This is Commander Dae-ho of the Altaran Defense Fleet. The Vex Empire is about to destroy us. Our ships cannot stop them. I am going to try something that has never been done before. I am going to ask the humans for help." The other alien commanders appeared on his screen. They looked shocked. "Humans," said Captain Vexistar, a tall gray alien. "They have not even left their star system." "They are too primitive," added Admiral Quintel, her green face worried. "What could they do?" Dae-ho looked at them all. "Maybe nothing. But we have no other choice. If we do nothing, we all die. At least this way we try something new." The alien leaders talked for several minutes. Finally, they agreed. They had nothing left to lose. Dae-ho went to the communication room. The big machine could send signals across many light years. He had studied human language from their broadcasts. His computer had learned to speak their words. He started recording his message. "People of Earth, this is Commander Dae-ho of the Altaran Defense Fleet. We are aliens from the stars. We know you have never met beings like us before. We have been watching your signals for many months. We know you are a young race, but we need your help. A terrible enemy called the Vex Empire is destroying our worlds. They have killed billions of innocent people. They are coming to kill billions more. Our peaceful ships cannot stop them. We have seen your movies and shows. We know you understand war. We know you have weapons and soldiers. Please, if you can hear this message, help us. We will give you anything you want. Technology, knowledge, friendship between our peoples, but please hurry, we do not have much time. This message contains our location in space. Come quickly or we will all be dead." Dae-ho sent the message toward Earth. It would take several hours to reach the small blue planet. Then it would take time for the humans to understand it and respond. If they responded at all. Meanwhile, the Vex fleet got closer. Their dark ships looked like metal daggers in space. Each one carried enough weapons to burn a city. "Sir, the Vex will be here in 36 hours, reported Kira. Dae-ho nodded. Even if the humans got his message right away, they would need time to prepare, time to build ships, time to travel across the stars. Did they even have ships that could travel so far? Dae-ho was not sure. The human signals showed they were still learning about space travel, but he had to hope. Hope was all they had left. On the planet below, families were hiding in deep bunkers. Children cried as their parents tried to keep them safe. The Alterans had never faced anything like this before. 6 hours passed, then 8, then 12. No answer came from Earth. "Sir, should we try to fight?" asked Kira. "With what?" Deho replied. "Our cargo ships against their war fleet? We would last 5 minutes." 18 hours passed. The Vex ships were getting very close now. Their leader, General Krex, sent a message. "To all Alteran forces, surrender now and we will make your deaths quick. Fight us, and we will make you suffer for days before you die." Deho did not answer. He kept watching his communication equipment, hoping for any sign from the humans. 24 hours. Still nothing. 30 hours. The Vex ships were almost at the edge of their star system. 34 hours. Deho began to lose hope. Maybe the humans never got his message. Maybe they got it but decided not to help. Maybe they were too scared. Then, at 35 hours and 22 minutes after sending his message, something amazing happened. The space near Altara Prime began to change. Reality seemed to bend and twist. Bright lights flashed like lightning. Then the lights stopped, and where there had been empty space before, there were now ships. Not just a few ships, not dozens of ships, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ships. The biggest space fleet anyone had ever seen filled the darkness around Altara Prime. The ships were gray and white, with sharp edges and powerful engines. They looked like they were built for only one thing: war. Deho's jaw dropped open. His forearms shook as he stared at the screen. "Kira, how many ships are out there?" Kira's voice was very quiet. "Sir, I count over 1,700 human vessels." The humans had not sent a small help mission. They had not sent a few ships to try their best. They had sent their entire space navy, and they were ready for war. Admiral Sojin stood on the bridge of the flagship Soul's Might. Her dark eyes looked at the alien world spinning below them. Around her ship, over 1,000 other human vessels waited in perfect formation. "Status report," she said to her officers. Captain Haiwan turned from her station. "All ships ready, Admiral. The aliens are sending us messages of thanks. They seem very surprised by how many ships we brought." "And the enemy?" "The Vex fleet is holding position at the edge of the star system. 800 ships. They appear to be waiting for orders." Admiral Sojin smiled. It was not a nice smile. She had been fighting wars for 30 years. She knew how to handle bullies. "Open a channel to the alien commander who sent us the message." The screen flickered. Commander Deho appeared, his blue face full of shock and hope. "Admiral Sojin, of the human space fleet," she said. "We got your message. We are here to help." Deho's forearms shook. Thank you so much. "But Admiral, the Vex have 800 warships. They are very dangerous. Maybe you should call for more help." Admiral Sojin's smile got bigger. "Commander, we brought 1,700 ships. I think we have enough." Behind her, Colonel Minsu laughed quietly. Captain Jae-min at the weapons station grinned. The humans had never lost a space battle. They were not planning to start now. "Admiral," said Captain Haiwan, "the Vex are moving. They are coming toward us. Let them come. Open a channel to all human ships." The faces of human captains filled her screen. Captain Yujin commanded the fighter wings. Commander Jong-soo led the marine assault ships. Captain Moonho controlled the heavy battleships. All of them looked ready for a fight. "Listen carefully," Admiral Sojin said. "These Vex think they are strong because they beat some peaceful aliens. They think we are just another weak race they can push around. Let us show them how wrong they are." "Yes, Admiral," all the captains said together. The Vex fleet moved closer. Their ships were black and red, with sharp points and glowing weapons. They had won many battles. They were not worried about these new aliens. General Krex, the Vex commander, looked at his screens. The human ships were smaller than his. They looked simple and basic. He had destroyed fleets twice this size before. "Send them a message," he told his communication officer. "Tell them to surrender or die." The message reached the human fleet. Admiral So-Jin read it out loud to her bridge crew. Surrender or die. She looked around at her officers. What do you think, people? Captain Haiwan shrugged. I think they do not know who they are talking to. I think they are about to learn, added Colonel Minsu. Admiral So-Jin opened a channel to the Vex fleet. Her voice was calm and cold. General Krex of the Vex Empire, this is Admiral So-Jin of the human space fleet. You have attacked innocent people. You have killed billions. You have threatened our new friends. We give you one chance to surrender. Turn your ships around and leave this system. You have 60 seconds to decide. General Krex laughed when he heard the message. A human, female, was trying to threaten him? He had conquered 50 worlds. He had destroyed 1,000 enemy ships. 60 seconds, he said to his officers. I will destroy them in 30 seconds. He gave the order to attack. 800 Vex ships charged forward, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. They moved, in a tight formation, ready to smash through the human lines. Admiral So-Jin watched them come. She had seen this before. Bullies always charged first and thought later. All ships, she said calmly, execute Battle Plan Alpha. What happened next shocked everyone who saw it. The human ships did not wait for the Vex to reach them. They moved like parts of one giant machine. Fighter squadrons led by Captain Yu-Jin flew out from the big ships like angry wasps. The battleships split into 3 groups. The smaller ships spread out in a wide circle. When the Vex reached firing range, they shot their energy weapons. Bright beams of red light crossed space toward the human ships. The beams hit the human ships and bounced off. General Krex stared at his screen. His weapons were not working. The human ships had shields that stopped his energy beams completely. Sir, shouted his weapon officer, their shields are different from anything we have seen. Before General Krex could answer, the humans shot back. But the humans did not use energy weapons. They used something much worse. Railguns. Thousands of metal slugs flew through space faster than bullets. They hit the Vex ships and went right through their shields like the shields were not even there. The first wave of human fire destroyed 50 Vex ships in 10 seconds. Impossible! General Krex screamed. Our shields stop everything! His science officer looked terrified. Sir, they are using solid projectiles. Our shields only stop energy weapons. The human ships kept firing. Their railguns threw metal death across space. Every shot hit its target. Vex ships exploded one after another. Captain Yu-Jin and his fighters reached the Vex formation. The human pilots flew between the big enemy ships, shooting at weak spots. They moved like dancers, never staying in one place long enough to get hit. This is Fighter Squadron 1, Captain Yu-Jin said over the radio. The enemy ships are slow and clumsy. It is like fighting cargo ships. Commander Jong-Soo led his assault ships toward the largest Vex vessels. His job was to capture enemy ships, not destroy them. The humans wanted to study Vex technology, but first, they had to win the battle. Admiral So-Jin watched the fight from her bridge. The Vex formation was already falling apart. Their ships were trying to run away, but the human ships were faster. Captain Haiwan, how many enemy ships are left? About 400, Admiral, but they are retreating. No. Admiral So-Jin's voice was hard as steel. They attacked innocent people. They do not get to run away. All ships pursue and destroy. The human fleet chased the fleeing Vex ships across the star system. It was not a battle anymore. It was a hunt. Within 2 hours, the entire Vex attack fleet was destroyed or captured. Only a few ships escaped to carry the news back to the Vex Empire. General Krex's ship was one of the captured ones. Commander Jong-Soo's Marines had boarded it and taken everyone prisoner. Admiral So-Jin looked at the results of the battle. The humans had lost 0 ships. The Vex had lost almost everything. Commander Daeho appeared on her screen again. His blue face was full of amazement. Admiral So-Jin, that was incredible. We have never seen fighting like that. How did you do it so easily? Admiral So-Jin looked at the alien commander. How could she explain? How could she tell him that humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years? That every human weapon was designed to kill other humans who were just as smart and dangerous? Commander Deho, she said, we have been preparing for this kind of fight our whole lives. The Vex made one big mistake. What mistake? They thought we were like you, peaceful, weak. They did not know that humans never stop thinking about war. We are very good at it. Around Altara Prime, the human fleet waited for new orders. The storm had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. 3 days after the battle, Admiral So-Jin sat in her command room. The walls were covered with star maps showing the entire galactic trade union. Red marks showed where the Vex Empire had attacked. Blue marks showed human ships. Captain Hai-Wan entered the room carrying a datapad. Admiral, we have finished talking to all the alien leaders. The news is not good. Tell me. The Vex have taken 12 worlds. They have killed over 2 billion innocent people, and they are not stopping. Our spy ships report that more Vex fleets are moving toward 3 more alien planets. Admiral So-Jin studied the map. The Vex were like a disease spreading across the galaxy. They took what they wanted and killed anyone who tried to stop them. What do the alien leaders want us to do? She asked. They want to negotiate. They think, if they offer the Vex some empty planets, maybe the Vex will stop attacking. Admiral So-Jin shook her head. She had dealt with bullies before. Captain, in all of human history, has giving a bully what he wants ever made him stop? No, Admiral. It just makes him want more. Exactly. Get me a channel to all alien commanders. Soon the screen filled with faces of different alien species. Commander Deho was there, along with Captain Vextar, Admiral Quintel, and many others. They all looked worried and tired. Friends, Admiral So-Jin began, I know you want peace. Your people have lived without war for thousands of years. But the Vex will never stop taking from you until you have nothing left. What do you suggest? Asked Admiral Quintel, her green face sad. We are not fighters like humans. You do not need to fight. We will fight for you. But you need to understand something. We do not fight wars the way you think. When humans go to war, we do not stop until the enemy cannot hurt anyone ever again. The aliens looked confused. Commander Deho spoke up. What do you mean? I mean we are going to attack every Vex world. We are going to destroy their fleets, capture their leaders, and free every planet they have taken. When we are done, the Vex Empire will not exist anymore. The alien leaders looked shocked. Captain Vextar's gray face turned pale. Admiral, that sounds like total war. That is exactly what it is. The Vex chose this path when they started killing innocent people. Now they will face the consequences. Admiral So-Jin ended the call and turned to her staff. Colonel Min-Su, Captain Jaemin, and Commander Jong-Su were all waiting for orders. Gentlemen, we are going to split our fleet into task forces. Each group will hit a different Vex target. We move fast, hit hard, and show no mercy to anyone who fights back. What about prisoners? Asked Commander Jong-Su. Any Vex who surrender will be treated fairly. Any Vex who keep fighting will be destroyed. Make sure all our captains understand this. The human fleet began to move. Admiral So-Jin kept 500 ships with her to attack the Vex capital world. Captain Yu-Jin took 300 ships to free the mining colonies. Captain Moon-Ho led 400 ships to liberate the farming worlds. Commander Jong-Su took 200 ships to rescue prisoners from Vex prison planets. The remaining ships spread out to watch for enemy reinforcements. Admiral So-Jin's target was Vex Prime, the heart of the Vex Empire. It was protected by orbital battle stations and a fleet of 600 warships. The Vex thought it was safe. They were wrong. The human task force jumped into the Vex home system like lightning. The Vex defenders barely had time to raise their shields before the human railguns started firing. Admiral So-Jin stood on her bridge watching the battle. Captain Hai-Wan, status report. We have destroyed 2 orbital stations. The enemy fleet is trying to form a defensive line around their planet. Colonel Min-Su, launch all fighters. Captain Jaemin, target their command ships first. The battle was different from the fight at Altara Prime. The Vex had learned from their defeat. They kept their distance and tried to use hit-and-run tactics, but humans had been perfecting space combat for decades. The human ships moved in perfect formation. When the Vex tried to surround them, the humans split into smaller groups and attacked from 6 directions at once. When the Vex tried to retreat, human fighters chased them down. "Admiral," reported Captain Haiwan, "the enemy commander is asking to surrender. Tell him to order all Vex forces in this system to power down their weapons. Any ship that keeps fighting will be destroyed." Within an hour, the entire Vex home defense fleet was captured or destroyed. The orbital stations were in human hands. Vex Prime was defenseless, but Admiral So-Jin was not finished. She opened a channel to the planet below. "Leaders of the Vex Empire, this is Admiral So-Jin of the human space fleet. You have attacked innocent people across the galaxy. You have killed billions. Your military forces are defeated. You will surrender immediately and face justice for your crimes." The response came from Vex Supreme Leader Thok himself. His voice was full of anger and fear. "Humans, you do not understand what you are doing. The Vex Empire has ruled this sector for 1,000 years. You cannot just destroy us." "Watch me," Admiral So-Jin replied. "You have 1 hour to surrender. If you do not, we will land troops on your planet and hunt you down one by one." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the other human task forces were winning their own battles. Captain Yujin had reached the mining colonies. The Vex had turned the alien miners into slaves, forcing them to dig precious metals for the Empire. When Captain Yujin's ships arrived, the Vex garrison tried to fight. It was over in 20 minutes. "This is Captain Yujin to all freed prisoners. You are safe now. Human medical teams are coming to help you. The Vex will never hurt you again." Captain Moonho's fleet had liberated 3 farming worlds. The Vex had stolen all the food these planets grew, leaving the alien farmers to starve. Now human ships were bringing supplies and medicine to the hungry people. Commander Jong-Soo had the hardest job. The Vex prison planets held thousands of alien captives. Many had been tortured or used for experiments. When his Marines broke down the prison doors, they found scenes that made even tough human soldiers angry. "Admiral So-Jin," Commander Jong-Soo reported over the radio, "we have freed over 50,000 prisoners. But Admiral, what the Vex did to these people, it is terrible." Admiral So-Jin's face became hard as stone. "Commander, document everything. The galaxy needs to see what the Vex Empire really was." Back at Vex Prime, the hour was up. Supreme Leader Thok had not surrendered. Instead, he had ordered his remaining forces to fight to the death. "Very well," Admiral So-Jin said. "Colonel, Minsu, begin the ground assault." Human Marines landed on Vex Prime in waves. These were not the same soldiers who had been fighting in space. These were specialists trained for urban combat and prisoner capture. The Vex military fought hard, but they had never faced an enemy like humans. Human tactics were too advanced, human weapons too powerful, human soldiers too determined. Within 6 hours, the capital city was in human hands. Supreme Leader Thok was captured trying to escape in a shuttle. Admiral So-Jin looked at the reports, coming in from across the galaxy. Every human task force had succeeded. 12 worlds were free. Thousands of prisoners had been rescued. The Vex Empire was finished. But something else had happened too. Word of the human victories was spreading to other parts of the galaxy. Alien species that had never heard of humans before were learning about the race that had destroyed the mighty Vex Empire in less than a week. Some aliens were grateful, some were amazed, and some were afraid. Captain Haiwan approached Admiral So-Jin with a new message. "Admiral, we are getting communications from all over the galaxy. Alien governments want to meet with us. They want to know what humans plan to do next." Admiral So-Jin looked out at the stars. The galaxy was a big place, full of different species and different problems. Some of those problems might need human solutions. "Captain, send a message to Earth. Tell them we need more ships." 2 weeks later, the biggest meeting in galactic history was about to begin. Representatives from over 40 alien species had come to the neutral world of Kepler Station. They all wanted to meet the humans who had destroyed the Vex Empire in 7 days. Admiral So-Jin walked into the Great Hall with her staff. Captain Haiwan carried a data pad with reports from across the galaxy. Colonel Minsu and Commander Jiangsu flanked her on both sides. All around them, aliens whispered and pointed. Some of the aliens were tall and thin. Others were short and round. Some had fur, others had scales. Some had 4 arms, others had tentacles. But they all had one thing in common. They were all staring at the humans with wonder and fear. Commander Daeho approached Admiral So-Jin. His blue face was happy but nervous. "Admiral, thank you for coming. Everyone wants to know what humans plan to do now." "We plan to go home," Admiral So-Jin said simply. The aliens looked surprised. Ambassador Kethra, a tall insect-like being, stepped forward. "Go home? But Admiral, you have the strongest military force in the galaxy. Surely you want to rule over us?" Admiral So-Jin shook her head. "We did not come here to conquer anyone. We came because you asked for help. The Vex are gone. Our job is done." "But what if other enemies appear?" asked Captain Vextar. "What if someone else tries to hurt innocent people?" Admiral So-Jin looked around the room at all the alien faces. They were scared. For thousands of years, they had lived in peace, because no one had been strong enough to threaten them all. Now they knew there were dangerous species out there. "If someone threatens innocent people, call us. We will come." The room erupted in excited chatter. Admiral Quintel raised her green hand for silence. "Admiral So-Jin, that is a generous offer. But how do we know you will keep your word? How do we know humans will not become like the Vex someday?" It was a fair question. Admiral So-Jin had expected it. "Look at what we did to the Vex," she said. "We could have enslaved their people. We could have taken their worlds for ourselves. Instead, we freed their slaves and turned their weapons into farming tools. We gave their planets back to the species they had conquered." She paused and looked around the room. "Judge us by our actions, not your fears." Ambassador Kethra spoke again. "What would you want in return for protecting us? Friendship, trade, knowledge. We are new to this galaxy. We have much to learn from all of you." The aliens talked among themselves for several minutes. Finally, Commander Daeho stood up. "The Galactic Trade Union votes to offer humans full membership and leadership of our defense forces. All in favor?" Every alien in the room raised their hand, claw, or tentacle. Admiral So-Jin smiled. "We accept." 3 months later, Admiral So-Jin stood on the bridge of her new flagship, the Galaxy's Shield. It was twice as big as her old ship, built with both human and alien technology. Around her, a fleet of 3,000 ships patrolled the trade routes between alien worlds. Half the ships were human. The other half belonged to various alien species who wanted to help keep the peace. It was the largest peacekeeping force in galactic history. Captain Haiwan approached with a report. "Admiral, we have a situation in the Outer Rim. A species called the Korthen is attacking merchant ships." "How many ships do they have?" "About 200. They use hit-and-run tactics. The local defense forces cannot catch them." Admiral So-Jin nodded. "Send Captain Yu-Jin with 50 ships. Tell him to end this quickly and cleanly." "Yes, Admiral." As Captain Haiwan left to send the orders, Admiral So-Jin thought about how much had changed. 3 months ago, humans had never left their own star system. Now they were the protectors of 40 different species across hundreds of worlds. The human fleet had grown too. Earth had sent 2,000 more ships and 50,000 more soldiers. General Kyung-ho now commanded marine forces on 12 different planets. Captain Moon-ho led the Human Space Academy, teaching alien pilots how to fight alongside human ships. But the biggest change was in how other species saw humans. The story of the Vex War had spread across the galaxy. Humans were no longer seen as primitive newcomers. They were respected, feared, and admired. Some alien children now played games where they pretended to be human space marines. Some alien poets wrote songs about the day humanity arrived like a storm to save the galaxy. Some alien scientists studied human military tactics to understand how such a young species could be so good at war. "Admiral," Captain Haiwan had returned, "we are getting a priority message from Earth." "Put it through." The screen flickered, And Admiral Park appeared. He was the head of Earth's Space Command and Admiral Sojin's old mentor. Sojin, how are things out there? Quiet, sir. We have had a few small problems, but nothing like the Vex. Good. I have news from home. The government has approved the Deep Space Expansion Project. We are going to build permanent bases in 12 different star systems. We want you to choose the locations. Admiral Sojin felt excited. Permanent human bases would make protecting the galaxy much easier. Sir, I recommend we place bases near the major trade routes and alien homeworlds. That way we can respond quickly to any threats. Agreed. There is something else. The alien governments have been sending messages to Earth. They want to establish embassies on our planet. They want to learn about human culture and history. Admiral Sojin smiled. That is good news, sir. The more we understand each other, the stronger our alliance will be. After the call ended, Admiral Sojin walked to the observation deck. Through the big windows, she could see stars in every direction. Somewhere out there were alien families living in peace because humans had answered a call for help. Commander Yong-Su joined her at the window. Admiral, do you ever wonder what would have happened if we had not received Commander Daeho's message? Admiral Sojin thought about it. The Vex would have conquered the galaxy. Billions of innocent people would have died. And humans would still be alone on Earth, never knowing there were friends among the stars. Do you think we made the right choice, getting involved in galactic politics? Admiral Sojin looked at a nearby star system where human and alien ships patrolled together. She thought about the freed slaves, the rescued prisoners, the children who could now sleep safely at night. Commander, a wise human once said that evil succeeds when good people do nothing. The galaxy called for help, and we answered. I think that makes us the good people. 6 months after the first battle at Altera Prime, the galaxy was a different place. The Galactic Trade Union had become the Galactic Alliance. Trade was flowing freely between hundreds of worlds. New technologies were being shared between species. Art, music, and stories were crossing the vast distances between stars. And at the center of it all were the humans, the young species that had arrived like a storm and stayed to become guardians. Admiral Sojin received reports every day about human achievements across the galaxy. Captain Dong-wook had established the first joint human-alien research station. Commander Subin was training alien engineers to build better starships. Colonel Chang-min had started a school to teach alien children about human history and culture. But the most important reports came from the early warning stations scattered throughout the galaxy. They watched for signs of new threats, new enemies who might think they could hurt innocent people. Because now everyone in the galaxy knew the truth. If you threatened the innocent, if you attacked the defenseless, if you brought war to those who wanted peace, humanity would come for you. They would come like a storm. And when the storm passed, you would be gone. The galaxy was safe, and it would stay safe as long as humans kept their promise to protect those who called for help. The end.